Welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast with author Sarah F. Hathaway and co-host Chen Gibson. Blending survival, fiction, and fact to bring you entertaining education that will help you dream, survive, and thrive. And now, here's your host, Sarah F. Hathaway and Chen Gibson.
Chapter 35. That was the best night's sleep I've had in a while, Chappie professed, stepping his fuzzy legs into his camo pants. Lucky us, Monroe sulked, looking out the hotel room's window toward the refugee camp. I'll do what I can do, Cole assured him, stepping out of the bathroom. He was fresh out of the shower and wore a crisp uniform. Looking sharp, sir, Chappie commented. It's stiff, Cole declared, pulling at his shirt. They must be making them again somewhere, Chappie said, sniffing the new material. Why don't you get showered, Monroe, and I'll go find out what I can from the captain, Cole suggested. That's fine, Monroe answered. Cole was frustrated with his sulky attitude. He was the one that wanted to come back so bad, and now they finally had the opportunity. Hey, Mr. Depressed, Cole snapped to get his attention. Monroe just stared out the window. Hey, Monroe, Cole called louder. Monroe turned his head back towards Cole. You're going to have to snap the hell out of it. There's a good chance I won't be able to get any of them out of there, Cole told him. I know, sir. I'm trying, Monroe countered. Well, try harder, because whatever you're doing isn't working, Cole told him, heading towards the door. Hold on, sir. I'll come with you, Chappie insisted. I'm just going downstairs, Chappie. Tying his boots up quickly, Chappie bounced to his feet. I don't trust these federal bastards. I'm coming with you, sir. Come on then, Cole said, opening the door. Monroe, get your shit together. Yes, sir, Monroe replied as they left. Heading to the elevator, Cole was lost in thought. His boots felt heavy and the carpet's pattern danced in his mind. He felt horrible about the plight of his friends in Peach Springs. Despite his best intentions, he had been unable to help them. They were going to become refugees either way, he mumbled, trying to convince himself. You're not wrong, sir, Chappie agreed. Cole looked up at him, surprised. You think so? I heard barns, same as you. The area was classified as Badlands. Eventually the feds would have come, whether we were there or not. Cole knew the truth of Chappie's statement, but didn't want to admit it. They quietly entered the elevator and stood in silence, descending to the lobby. Walking across the brightly lit room, he saw the captain eating alone at one of the tables. Cole approached him. The captain looked up, annoyed by Cole's presence. Major Virgis, is there something I can help you with? I'm leaving this afternoon, and I need to know how many of my fighters you're going to let me take, Cole informed him as he sat down. Chappie stood stoically behind him. The Major General assigned you men. What do you need from me? Some of the people that came here with me, Cole began to say, but the captain cut him off. You're not taking any of those people with you. Sir, we have trained fighters in with those refugees. They're part of our team. There are ways for them to volunteer and earn their spot in the forces, the captain assured him, scooping up the last few bites of egg on his plate. Frustrated with the captain's response, Cole requested, 1. Just let us have one of them, sir. The captain took a deep breath as he stood up with his plate in his hand. Cole stood up as well, waiting for his answer. Fine. If it gets you out of my hair, you can have 1. Cole wasn't pleased, but at least he could help one of them. Thank you, Cole replied. I'm looking forward to collaborating in the future. The look of annoyance deepened, and the captain said shortly, Honestly, Major, we need supplies, not people, so don't bring us the latter. Understood. We'll do the best we can. Also, let's make the railroad a priority. We can use steam engines to run goods back and forth. The captain thought on his suggestion and shook his head positively. It would also be a good place for refugees to work. Thanks again, sir, Cole told him as he left. The smell of the food cooking had Cole's stomach rumbling, and he went with Chappie to get in line. It wasn't long until Monroe approached. Did you talk to the captain? He wondered. I did, Cole affirmed. How many? Monroe asked. 1, Cole answered, grabbing his plate. Only 1? Monroe wondered, thinking of all their friends. Should we take King? No. We're going to take Ginger, Cole responded, watching a small smile cross Monroe's face. He loaded his plate with eggs and a mystery meat patty. Monroe's girl? What about Rydell? Chappie wondered, loading his plate next. He had been working closely with the young man and saw great potential in him. Monroe looked curiously at Chappie, replying, "She's not my girl." As they walked to the table, Cole looked sideways at him, wondering why he denied it. Everyone could see he had fallen for the woman, but Cole had other intentions. He was less concerned with their dating status and leaning more toward his feelings for her. She had always been one of his closest friends when he was home. "We can only take one. She's an intelligent information analyst." "We'll have to teach her to fight with the team," Monroe fretted, knowing the dangers of their job. He quickly ate the contents on his plate, nervous about the entire situation. "She's a fast learner, and she can start with communications," Cole suggested, understanding that role would keep her furthest from danger. Monroe didn't really know her professional abilities and wondered, "You think she can do it?" "If I had a doubt, I wouldn't have suggested it. She's coachable and calm under pressure." "I sure appreciate this, sir," Monroe declared sincerely. Cole looked at him sharply and explained, "I know you care for her, but remember, she was my friend first. Honestly, I'm not sure she could survive in captivity." Monroe didn't say anything more as Cole finished eating his breakfast. "I'm going to get her and talk to Barry. I want those transports ready to go this afternoon," Cole said firmly. "Yes, sir," the men answered. "Split the crew. Pick 2 teams to chase down the bastards that robbed us, and we'll take 3 north with us when we go," Cole directed, rising to his feet and returning his plate to the counter. After receiving another affirmative response, Cole began the walk towards the refugee camp. He didn't know how he would look Barry in the eyes, but he had little choice now. There was a job to do, and he had his orders. Hello, and welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast. This is episode number 433, season 15, episode 35. Hey, Tim, what's up?
Chin's up. I mean, we were just in the middle of a good conversation about chicken coops, and then we had to stop.
I know. I'm like, we're live, like right now. It's not that long.
We had a whole nother show going on.
We did. We absolutely did. Yeah, we're planning out chicken coops and gardens and things like that because it just never ends on the homestead. So, alrighty. So welcome to episode number 433. We just heard Virgis, and last week Virgis arrived at the FEMA camp. They took back their jobs. This week they are, he's trying to get his friends out of there, you know. So Oreno gave him one person out of them all, you know. Of course, it's going to be Monroe's girlfriend. You got to, you know. But you brought up an interesting point that I kind of glanced over in the chapter was Monroe having his little pity party, you know, in the morning.
Yeah.
Right?
That really, like in a natural disaster or any kind of disaster, not letting you get into that funk, getting into that rut.
Right.
Because that'll just.
I would even go so far as to say, like, you've got to be able to identify that and handle that even in normal times, you know. The funk just gets you. So.
Yeah, but if you have a day where you had a funk and you just like, whatever, you know, it's
True.
a day that you just
True.
sit around in sweats and listen to the stereo, crank the stereo or the headphones or watch
not wrong.
stupid movies or something. It's not going to be that detrimental. Just, you know, get through it. But if you're in a disaster scenario, it could really...
There's just no time for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to snap the heck out of it.
Yep. Wake up. He's like, I'm trying. He's like, you're not trying hard enough. Suck it up. I always tell
about a buttercup in that sense.
Yep. I always tell everybody at work that, you know, suck it up. We got a job to do. Suck it up. Suck it up. And like, oh man, I'm so tired of you.
My highlight marker for the chapter.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, oh, I'm so tired of you telling me that. It's like, do you know how many times I tell myself that? Do you know what I look at when I open up my laptop? It literally says, suck it up on my laptop. Like, life goes on, man. You gotta, if anybody's actually struggling with depression, which, I don't blame you about, there's a lot of things going on. Talking with Brian Duff and listening to his struggles with PTSD and, really going with him on his journey and then being able to put that into retrospect in my own life. I had anger issues. Mm-hmm. And when he talks about, being able to feel the feeling coming on before it affects you emotionally, that's really what it's about. And so studying with him, I was actually able to get a grip on those anger issues and then also apply it over to depressive states where you're like, hey, I feel this coming on. Maybe it's time to pray a little bit more, rationalize a little bit more, take myself back out of the emotion and see what's going on, what's making that happen. Amazing stuff. Because then you can start helping other people in your life actually be able to see that, identify that, and deal with that as well.
His podcast, Mind for Survival, is a great show.
It
really
is.
has good stuff in it.
Yeah, and then he does the show with Dale as well. Dale and Duff show.
I just laugh. Actually, it's a yin and a yang because like his Mind for Survival is very grounded.
Yes.
And then he gets on the mic with Dale and he goes off.
And they're flying.
To listen to. Oh man.
Good stuff, though. I mean, if you're, dealing with certain emotions and stuff that you really want to be able to conceptualize and handle in a different manner, I would definitely say open up your mind and learn about some of the experiences he's been through. Mind for Survival, Brian Duff. Check it out if that's you. Alrighty. So that was a huge intro. We got some cool events coming up. I've got to get a blooper show scheduled. But I tell you what, I've just been working so hard on getting the audio drama. You know how like when you're reading a book and you're getting close to the end, you don't want to put that book down?
Right.
Well, it's the same way with building out the audio drama. I'm like so close to the end. Don't want to put it down. But unfortunately, like every minute.
The keyboard.
Yeah. But like every minute takes you 2 hours to do. So, you really have to schedule that with life. I've also gone back to MMA class again as well.
Look at you.
I know. I'm feeling good. I've been really putting it in hard every day, making sure my body is ready for it. So my instructor bought one of my books and he was like, oh, I got one of your books. You have to come sign it. Bring your sparring gear.
Is that, that's your friend that you introduced me to?
Yes. Yeah, bro. He's stellar. Uh-huh.
Your worlds are colliding, Sarah.
I know. I was like, okay, because he's the communications guy. He's very much into doing like radio systems and stuff like that. He has his own shop here in Tyler. If anybody's wanting a stereo system or the comms install, he's been doing a lot of the ham radio installs and stuff like that.
I know he had a shop. I need to get up with him.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, he literally goes out and like installs like the surveillance systems and all the comm systems and makes them more.
That's all. He's got all the bases covered.
Yes, right. So he started talking to me more about ham and how that all the intricacies and whatnot. And I was like, bro, you really need to get a hold of Chin because
Sarah's like, I might be 5 something, but that's what's still going over my head.
Exactly. And I've got my hands up catching a lot up there, but So I was like, yeah. And then when Chin teaches you, then you can program my radios up for me. So he said that was a good deal. Yeah. So yeah, back to getting in some sparring time and stuff like that, which is always awesome. You got to get hit in the face every once in a while. So, hey, then you know how much you can take. You're not scared of it.
Like a T-shirt.
Oh, another one.
Yeah.
You got to get hit in the face every once in a while. Hopefully it's not from something you said.
Way of life.
Yeah, it is. I was missing it bad. So, and Brock got me some more equipment for my home gym. I got a balance board.
He's a keeper.
I know. I would definitely recommend the balance board, though. For you can do all your arm lifting on the balance board, and it helps you with all your stabilizers in your legs.
Is that like the roller thing?
It is it's like an upside down roller thing. Mine has little grippies on the top, but like a Bosu ball is the same concept where you're like standing on the ball. Okay, I know what you know, same kind of concept. Anything that's going to really just test your balance as you go.
That adds a whole dimension to doing like exercises.
Right, because you can do just your arm lifts and whatnot, but on the balance board. So now you're adding that other element. And as we get older, we start to rely on our vision instead of our muscles. And so that's why like elderly people fall a lot in the dark. So working with those stabilizers and that is really important as we age. So that's why I definitely recommend you have some type of a balance system. Even if it's just standing on one leg, make sure you have a chair in front of you. But good stuff. Alrighty. So we also have the Patriot Homestead Conference coming up at last weekend of April. So that's kind of cool. I got like some multiple events going on this year. So I'm going to be up there in Illinois. So if you guys are in that area, you got to come see me for sure. I love books, all that good stuff. I haven't been up to that area in a long time. You know, I've been in events in Texas and Colorado, in North Carolina. You know, but I haven't been up.
Chicago in college, I think.
This is very, very southern Illinois. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to be up anywhere near Chicago, thank goodness. Yeah. Scott County. I don't know. Look it up. It's easy to find. Patriot Homesteading Conference. And then, of course, September we'll be out in prepper camp. So that's always... family reunion. Yeah, I was talking to one of my family members from prepper camp, and I was like, man, I wish prepper camp lasted 362 days and work, or 361 and work was only 3 days, you know?
Could you imagine all of us being like in like the same town?
We probably kill each other. That's one thing. Like, I'm always like, it would be cool if an event happened while we're at prepper camp. It's like, wait a minute, these are all your preparedness leaders in one area. Too many leaders, not enough, right? Yeah, too many leaders in one spot. That's so funny. We got to have the spread out, but.
Sarah with the reality check.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know. But, there's definitely, you know, a core group of people that I could honestly survive with for forever. So, you're in there, Chin. My brother from another mother.
Right?
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about some skills. We've been squirreling. It's a chill day, if you guys haven't noticed. We're chilling today. So, I'm going to have some good shows coming up, though. We're going to get some of our...
We're having good shows. This is a good show already.
Oh, yeah. Last week was bomb.
I hate to say... Okay, squirrel moment. I hate to say last week was a good show because you know how I think about Swenson. Doug's such an awesome guy to hang out with.
Right, I know. All
right.
I love
to say I had fun with Swenson is just not...
Right? Wait till he busts Sheila out. The man was like a natural when I gave it to him. I mean, I'm serious. We put a paper plate up on the tree. He whips the paper plate off the tree and then snaps it in the air again. I was just like, no. I looked like I had been tied to the whooping post using my whip, you know? you keep catching yourself. But he did a few times. You know, Sheila does bite. So, yeah, that was a good show.
That's right.
Yeah. But, of course, we're going to keep them coming. You know how it is here on Changing Earth. Alrighty, so skills to make you valuable in the apocalypse. And a lot of times, let's go through some of the basics, because a lot of times we hit the basics, but I have some fresh ideas and suggestions. Get your guys' brains kind of zipping along on this trail, because I'm going to explain how this happened to me in a bit, but let's go through some of our basics first, because you got a really good lineup. Oh, man, and number 1 on Chin's list, wouldn't you know what it is?
I did not write that article either.
Yeah. Where are we coming from? Disaster survival skills. But you were like, this is the list. This is like the best list. It's huge. It's huge. It's the best list. Because number 1 on the list is communication.
Communication. That's right.
It is important, man. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know this number 1, but
right, but it is.
Important.
It is definitely important. I would think that like probably being warm and fed and with water is going to trump communications, but
communications is both long range collecting the information and asking for help, and short range in keeping people organized and in sync with each other and directing movement.
That's no doubt.
Yeah, so communication isn't the thing, but it's kind of the backbone that keeps the thing working. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. No, it's true. I was thinking about personally, I don't really adhere to counselors or things like that. I've never had the best experience in my life. But mentors, pastors, people, martial arts instructors, those kinds of people that know how to handle multiple personality types and can really create that community and keep. There's something to be said for that individual,
Right. Yeah, it's a skill. I mean, it's a skill for sure.
Yeah, because most of the time, I'm like, I get enough socialization at all my events. Other than that, I'm just working in my jail cell here. So, all right. Number 2 on the list, of course, how to purify water. It's so extremely frightening how many people don't understand that you just can't drink water from everywhere. You can't go to a river, and drink water.
The mountain stream.
Yeah, I mean, things fall out of the sky into that water. So, knowing how to pure that water is essential. Knowing what's upstream from your water, that kind of thing. We got a bunch of articles in the database on purifying water, so I'll link some of those through. Not going to take notes at the same time. How to apply a tourniquet.
Right.
That's pretty darn important. I would say that's a missing skill that a lot of people don't have.
Yeah, there's some of these, he has 13 skills, but I think some of this could be all combined. Into first aid. So I put first aid.
That'd be part of
tourniquet under first aid. Yeah,
general first aid is really, really important. We kind of talked about that a couple weeks ago. That one little infection can quickly get out of control, and that can be your life. Because oops, I caught my hand with the saw while I was doing something. So yeah, definitely knowing first aid. And it really, you gotta have, I would push for as much medical skills as possible.
Yeah. Like you always talk about dental, and which I bet is just slides past a lot of people's radar.
And tooth problems can cause heart attacks and things like this. It's crazy. They're really important. If you got a toothache, you're going to be thinking about nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the worst.
Virgis could be telling you to snap out of it.
Yeah, get over it. Move on. Swenson be like, swish some whiskey. You'll be fine. Here, let Sheila handle it.
Vodka with the boys, with the Russian boys.
Yeah. Go get some vodka with Yori.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if Ryan's listening out there, he needs to get me some Yuri lines. I'm just saying. Sergey Lyons. Alrighty. So emergency shelter, really, really important. Got to be able to stay warm. Got to understand that our houses, most of our homes, are not built for survival without power.
Right.
I mean, you look around, you think about it when you just take a moment and think about it. It's they don't worry about what direction the house is facing anymore. And
I mean, you all know that, I'm building a house, and it's the simple things like how you place your house on your lot. But like home builders don't do, they're thinking about how many houses they get in a neighborhood. Yeah. They're like, how many can we pack in?
Yes.
As opposed to if they did like 5 less houses in a neighborhood, they could orient them south facing,
maximize the wind flow for cooling.
It's amazing what it's done for my house. Yeah. I mean, like in the wintertime, suns come blaring in through the windows. In the summertime, no sunlight shines, like the light on the ground. There's no sunlight shining directly on the ground in my house just because of placement and overhangs.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yep. And it just takes that little bit of planning. So, of course, like your basic emergency survival shelter, if you're in the woods or whatever, everybody's thinking, if I was in the woods, I got to do sticks and the stuff.
Predominant wind direction and sun.
But still, understand that like your home where you're planning on bugging in probably isn't, you're going to have to think about survival within that shelter.
And it's not just comfort, like temperature comfort. It's also like it is summertime with like mold and stuff, like moisture and humidity. You go too long and you start, so that could be a health issue too.
Absolutely.
And it could ruin food and materials and clothing and everything else.
Yeah, honestly, when we were in Costa Rica, like driving down the street there, because we went to San Jose, or not San Jose. San Jose is the big one. We went to Liberta, and it's like a little hangar that you fly into. Yeah. Liberia. And it's this little hangar you fly into, and so we're like backwoods in it in Costa Rica. And everybody has their doors open and stuff. And you can literally see like the mold on the walls and whatnot because it's so humid there.
Without like airflow or
right.
Like air conditioning gives you the dehumidifier kind of built into it, so you're sucking the moisture out of the house.
Right. Yeah. So that's all. You're right. That's really important, and that's all for your health and all this kind of stuff. So understand you're going to have to like learn survival inside of your home, and then there are people. Oh well, I got a generator. I'm gonna be just fine.
How much fuel do you have stocked up?
How much fuel? How much is that a beacon?
I was just going to say that.
Right. I mean, you hear them light up as soon as the power goes off. Like, generator going,
yeah, on the mountain, and you can hear the subdivision back behind me.
Yeah,
fire up.
Just everybody,
and they run constant. It's like the whole time
night long.
And it was running for like 2 hours past the power. I'm like, dude, did you not check to see?
Right? Turn it off, man.
Yeah.
So no. So just keep that in mind. Okay, how to make fire? Yeah, you better get on it if you don't know. Home shelter reinforcements, that's kind of what we're talking about. You got like big windows and you're going to worry about people coming up to your house. That might be something you want to, have plywood kind of plan back.
Is something sagging or something structurally need to be like, you have any spare lumber around that you can like reinforce a wall so it doesn't your ceiling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Defense for your home. So of course I talk a lot about defense, how to read nature signs. Yeah. Cause you won't have your phone telling you it might be raining in 15 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, I love that app on my phone. It's 15 minutes.
Yeah, me too. But like
lasting for 2 hours.
I was like, okay, I got it, dude. Like,
that's awesome.
It is, but you're not going to have that then. So
I remember a fun squirrel. I bought a convertible off my buddy, one of my college friends. So he drove, this is back when I was in Charleston and Signal. He drove to Charleston to deliver the car to me.
Yeah.
And we were driving out to the beach. So I'm like, let's make a vacation of it. We're driving out to the beach. I said, we better pull over and put the top up. He goes, why? I said, because it's about to rain. He goes, how do you know? It's like I felt all of a sudden the temperature drop. It got colder and the wind changed. And you could tell the wind changed by the leaves flip over.
Yep.
He goes, you're crazy. I said, we better put the top up. Put the top up and it started to rain.
Yep. Yeah, there's definitely telltale signs of like
you got to be
happening.
To it.
Yeah, you just have to pay attention.
Yep.
Very important. The DIY respiratory masks. I get that.
Yep.
I'm kind of going that direction in a minute. Basic plumbing and electronics.
Oh, that's big.
I mean, that is.
Like
Luckily, my husband knows.
Because you want to be able to like shut stuff off.
Right. Yep.
I mean, if you have a plumbing leak or you have electrical loose live wires or down wires that aren't.
It's amazing
live,
how many people.
Power company puts the power back on, it's going to be a live wire.
Yeah.
So there's.
Yeah, it's amazing. In the other countries that don't have the same electrical systems as we do, large population of people actually die in flooding because of electrocution.
Yeah.
Like that's like the number one reason I've seen people
like all
dying.
over the place, tapped into each other.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So basically, flood barriers, food barriers. Those are for those overweight people.
I got a food barrier right here. My stomach.
Yeah, you don't want them like eating all your rations, so you got to put up food barriers. That's a joke, everybody. Flood barriers. Yeah, so definitely.
Next one's for you. Yeah, that one's for you, and the next one, 11 or 12 are yours.
Learn how to make a float. I'm good here. We're like on a hill, kind of.
No, because you'll always drive through the water.
Oh, so true.
Chitty, chitty, bang, bang, float
It's
through
so
it.
true. I didn't think it was that deep.
I am never going to forget that.
Oh, man. He ripped me up. That was like a half-hour interview, and all I got, like, the whole time.
Awesome. I was so nervous about having that guy on the show. But he was awesome.
He was fantastic. Trust me, it was a process to get him on the show.
He was.
I went through a lot of.
Don't tell them what the website is if they can't find it.
I don't want them there. Yeah, don't tell them. Just I was like, okay, James.
Oh, James.
Yeah,
we lost one there.
We did. Honestly, his book is great. It's the self-defense or self-contracting handbook.
Yeah.
I have it on my website, but that book, if you want like really good lists, especially for loadouts, Mr. Looking for a loadout, his book is phenomenal because it's like exactly what you should bring with you when you're going overseas on deployment, which would be exactly what you need in a survival situation because you can't overpack. Yep. So, yeah, his book is really, really phenomenal. James.
Well, there would be for number 13, his book you'll need for number 13.
Yes. Packing and repacking the bug out bag. No doubt.
Yeah.
I'm
Keeping
still
it fresh.
slacking. I need to, I still haven't gone through mine. I got to get on it.
I need to. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, I know.
Now that I'm in a different situation, I need to get that redone.
I don't know how old my like food supplies in there. I have ration bars. Those are fine. I'm not worried about those, but like the granola bars, that kind of stuff. I'm like,
have you ever eaten an old granola bar?
Yeah.
You're right.
I know. Well, that's how I got the idea for the Snickers when Erica like has the Snickers when they're on the battleship.
Yeah,
I've had like one of those before. Or it's like from old Halloween or something. I don't know, you know. And it's like, oh, I'm so hungry. I'll just eat it anyway. And you're just like,
Yeah, I've done that. I usually have like granola bars and stuff in the car because they don't have chocolate and stuff on them, so you can keep them in the car.
Yeah.
And then I've been like hungry and too cheap to stop and buy. Like, McDonald's.
Just gone for it. You're just like chewing for 10 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is great. It's like a pemmican bar at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Pemmican bar.
Yeah. So I was thinking, actually, what you hit on at the beginning of the show was the skills that make you valuable, mental attitude. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, if you're somebody that people don't want to be around, guess what? I mean, like,
it's not going to end well for you.
In my survival group, my instructor, when we were learning wild foraging and whatnot, he's like, this is a pencil plant. And, you know, the poison that comes out of it, it's not like horrible. It's not going to kill you by any means, but man, it's going to make you sick. It's going to make you have like diarrhea. And the Native Americans actually called it get annoying person out of town is what their name for it meant. because they would just start slipping it into their food. And then that person wouldn't want to be in the group anymore because like they keep getting sick. And so, if you're that person that's like always got the negatives and always, oh, we're never going to make it. We can't do this. We're blah, 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 blah. You probably want to start working with that emotional control right about now because obviously it's not going to get any easier.
And it's control too, because like it's so easy to go off the handle. I mean, that's kind of like,
right.
If you just let all your barriers down, it's easy to fly off the handle. The hard thing to do is to keep control and composure.
Right. And you literally have the choice, though. It's a more
productive way to handle a situation.
Yeah. And like you literally have the choice. 10% circumstance, 90%.
In the long run, you'll get more done if you stay calm and collected.
Right. And, and your group is going to be better off for it. Your team, your family, they're going to be better off for it. It's just, I always explain it. One of my martial arts instructors explained it to me like it's the circles of the Olympic symbol. And as long as they're all circles, they all move together. They could all rotate and everything's good. But if one of them turns into a square or a triangle, it's going to throw the whole system off, And that's really how I think about it. Is like, if you love these people and, or you need them for survival, you can't survive by yourself. That's not going to happen, Then you better start thinking about how you influence the circle. And I'm not saying like not speak your mind or not, do those things, but there's a healthy way to handle those things.
Yeah.
Okay, so person who supplies the basics. Basically everything that we were naming off the list. Like hopefully everybody listening to this show, unless you're a brand new listener, you already have a good feel of what those basics are, how you can procure them, how you can take care of that in a survival situation. Long term, it's going to get more and more challenging. There's no way around that. It's just, we're not going to be able to run to the store, So that's going to get more interesting. But honestly, from watching, there's an anime. I know I've talked about it on the show before. It's called Dr. Stone. And so basically, everybody on the planet was frozen. And then this dude wakes up and he's a scientist guy. And he wants to figure out like how to get everybody else unfrozen and how do we rebuild the world with science. But I through watching it, it's what I love to write. It's fiction that teaches you as you watch, which is, right up my alley. But as I was watching it, I was like, yeah, like soap. The bare necessities, yeah. But once you get there, then you can build gunpowder. You can build generators, radios, all of these things that are kind of more technologically complex. We need bleach and things like that for sanitization. Who knows how to do that? So that was why I was like, you know what? That's an important person. Like I've come to see that technology can be useful in a survival situation, but a chemist, somebody who knows how to do those electronics, like you say, essential. Really,
technology can be the weak link too. If it's like at school, you used to have to learn how to do math with a pencil and paper before you were allowed to use a calculator. Calculator made it a whole heck of a lot easier, but what if the batteries are dead? Or what if you drop the calculator on the floor and it doesn't run anymore?
And now you have no idea how to do this.
Yep.
Medications. Things like even like noodles and people who can actually cook. That's a chemistry base of like, okay, we have this grain. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to make the gluten. Now I have a noodle. Now we can, there's so many things involved there. What was the book that I shared with you? Do you remember the name of it? Can you put it up in the chat?
Oh, I'll put it up in the chat. It was yeah.
It was like rebuilding, but it was all about like the chemicals.
It was like what you were saying about science. It was like how just basic stuff that we live with.
Chemically, rebuild the world.
And done. Yeah.
And that's really been an interesting thought experiment for me and made me want to research more about those things. because it does come down to your basics. Even like Survivor Jane has her hygiene book, but she also has like the post-apocalyptic cosmetics book and stuff. It's like things you can do for makeup and whatnot. If that's, what makes you feel good to be you.
That's morale.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
totally morale.
Let's look good on Friday night, but if you look good on a Friday night, you feel better about. I hate to say it, but you do, right?
Right.
If you're just walking around all like unshaven, like unshaven, and especially stains on his pants and.
Yeah, if that's what you're used to, especially as your lifestyle, and then what like tomorrow comes and you're just supposed to change everything and give it up, and now you can't even have those little bits of what used to make you happy. That, it's going to be a challenge. That's big time morale issue. So, yeah, that I've been really, really thinking, and studying more on actually seashells, seaweed. They provide a lot of the basic chemicals that we need to be able to make other products from them. So I've been thinking a lot about that when I pick my final where I'm going to put my final residence at. I've been thinking about more and more about what would be available in that area. Wild forageables, can I grow there? Just a garden and stuff. It's so hard here in Texas with what we got going on here at this residence. So all of those things are kind of adding up as like, that's pretty important to me. And then now that just adds another layer of like something to think about as you're going into the situation. So, yeah.
But Neil Strauss was a different one.
I think it was Neil.
Yeah, Emergency. This book will save your life.
Yep.
That sound right?
Yeah, it does.
I'll put it up.
Okay. What's the name of the actual book?
Emergency. This book will save your life.
Emergency. That's it. Yeah, it's a good.
Let me read this.
Good read and a good area to explore. Alrighty.
This might be a different book.
Yeah. Keep looking for me.
Yep.
I think I remember something like that at the beginning, though. Now you got me curious, but I don't want to. I'm going to jump into Changing Earth news and not go down that rabbit hole right now while we're live. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get some weather music on. Alrighty, so Changing Earth news. The sun is ramping up. There are some major sunspots that are going to be inbound. They were like sparking little C-class flares all day yesterday. Kind of settled down today, but still we need to make sure that we keep eyes on. It's a pretty intense cycle that looks like it's coming up, and the sun's supposed to be ramping up anyway in the next couple of weeks. So it's important to keep eyes on that. All right, let's go to January 29th of 2024. There was 396 earthquakes that were 2.0 or bigger, biggest of which was a 5.7 in Xinjiang, China, which is where they had that super large earthquake not too long ago. Same town. I want you to keep an eye on these earthquake numbers. It's pretty crazy. So actually, it was like, as far as Changing Earth news goes, it was pretty chill on our planet. I mean, maybe we're just getting used to some more extreme weather, but Reunion Island, they were hit with some massive rains causing flooding, school closures, road deterioration. A couple of vehicles were swept away. One person was found dead. One person is missing, and about 45 homes were submerged there from that rain event. Norway got absolutely slammed with a storm. Northern Norway, they got hit with a big tsunami. But they also had hurricane force winds coming in. Flights, ferries, all shipping was canceled. Luckily, it was mostly just property damage, and nobody passed away in that event. On January 30th, There was 437 earthquakes that were 2.0 or bigger, biggest of which was a 5.1 on the South Sandwich Islands, Chin's favorite place.
Man.
Right? They're picking them up. Western Ecuador, they had some severe flooding. What's that?
They've been out of the game for a while.
I know. It's been calm over there. A little bit quieter. Or we've just been having bigger ones come up. So, Western Ecuador, I know we have family out of our PBN community over there. They had severe flooding. 7.5 inches of rain in 8 hours. They had a lot of homes, infrastructure destroyed from that event. Northern India, there was a pretty substantial landslide in Pradesh. It took out traffic on one of the highways. Nobody was injured, luckily. It was kind of odd how everybody was kind of standing around, and then the landslide just happened. And Indonesia, Malaysia, they had torrential rains. They've been getting rains for a while. So they are deep in water over there. Hospitals submerged, 2-foot-high water, so its vehicles are breaking down. Oh, there you go. The knowledge, how to rebuild civilization in the aftermath of a cataclysm. Good book on how to rebuild chemical-wise. Like, what do you need chemically to do that? Once your supplies start running out, you got to figure it out.
It was a really interesting book. It was kind of like, almost like a history book.
Right? So it's not so, like, static. Yeah.
There's a description of the book.
Sweet. And then who was the author of it? I thought it sounded somewhere in an email.
Lewis Dartnell.
Lewis Dartnell. Okay, I was way off.
Yeah.
Lewis Dartnell. Yeah. Good book, guys. That's a good
I found it at my public library.
And that's not something that's like included in a lot of like the survival books, emergency survival books that I have, right? Nobody really touches too much on that topic, but it's such a big deal that I was happy to get a hold of that book. Okay, southern South Africa, Pringle Bay, they are having a big wildfire there on the 30th. Residents have been evacuated. And Alaska had a record snowfall, literally collapsing roofs. 104 inches in some areas came down. I have one of my buddies up there. He's actually the gentleman that I trained a lot of survival with and did close quarters combat training and things like that with. And so he's up in Alaska now. And he had 2 trees come down on his roof. His big boat cover for his boat was destroyed. And then 2 of his friends' boats actually sank in the marina because of the snow, how much snow they got. So prayers going out to everybody up there. You guys can dig yourself out of that snowfall that they got. So on the 31st of January, we had 616 earthquakes that were 2.0 or bigger. That's a lot. That I don't usually say that number. Biggest of which was a 5.8 in Tonga. Australia, Eastern Australia, poor Ellen, I'm going to have to check in with her. They have just been getting walloped storm after storm after storm. It's really taking a toll on the population there. The last storm they had 11.8 inches in 3 hours. I mean, that is just dumping rain. Everything is just getting flooded out. It just can't run off fast enough. So maybe we'll have to get Ellen on to talk about what's going on with the crazy weather there in Australia. What are they up to? Mm-hmm. Chile, northern area of Chile, kind of central to that area. They are having some extreme wildfires. On January 31st, there was 10 people dead so far, 30 homes destroyed, but hundreds of more homes were being threatened by it. One of the biggest areas under threat was Vin del Mar, and I can tell you that situation hasn't improved. We're going to go through it one more time, but that's been a massive event for Chile. And I really wanted to see something on the Argentina wildfires, but I didn't see anything on that. So hopefully they have those fires under control, because I knew that was just a problem over there, right? Am I right about that? That it was Argentina? Last week it was, I'm getting confused between Argentina or Colombia. So anyway, yeah, they've been having some, it's kind of flip-flop, right? Oh, Colombia. It is Colombia that was having the big wildfires. So I didn't see anything about them this time around, so that's good news, because it's got to be pretty big to hit, the media where you're going to be able to see it. And so hopefully they have that under wraps. But isn't it kind of funny how now that we're in the winter up in the north, summer in the south, we're having all those wildfires up here this year. Now flip, and now they've got the wildfires down there. A lot of flooding, though, in Africa. I mean, that's been the story, has been flooding in Africa. So let's see what else we got. Northern Norway, that storm Ingen, that was 120 mile an hour winds, just trail of destruction up there. Northern Madagascar, they've had rain, and since January 16th, 4 people are dead, 3 are missing, 4 are injured just due to this horrible flooding situation. They've lost 17,500 hectares of rice fields. So put that in terms to acres, you're looking at, over 26,000 easily. Acres are pretty much, you double it to get an acre count on it. So that is a lot of their food supply destroyed. Never a good thing. In the western United States, the West Coast has been just getting walloped with storm after storm coming in. They are underwater in Southern California. As somebody in the insurance realm in that state, I can tell you they've been into catastrophic situations for almost a week now. So they need some relief from the rain, which is not usually the problem in California. All right, on February 1st, there was 739 earthquakes that were 2.0 or bigger. That is a lot. The biggest of which was a 5.1 in the Philippines. Rain just continues in Southern California, and there was actually a cruise ship out in the Gulf of Mexico that took on so much water, this cruise ship actually flooded as well. People's rooms, everything. Yeah.
That wouldn't be a good feeling.
No. That's why, man, no, I'll never do a cruise. Please, nobody ever buy me a cruise. I'm not getting on the boat. It's not going to happen.
What's your ticket?
No. No. I'll be out scalping that thing. On February 2nd, there was 603 earthquakes that were 2.0 or bigger, biggest of which was a 5.2 in New Zealand. Still a high number, but not as bad as that 739. That's just insanity. And then on the 3rd, kind of coming back down into the normal range, 479 earthquakes are 2.0 or bigger, biggest of which was a 5.2 in Vanuatu. I always watch Vanuatu because it seems like when Vanuatu gets really thumped, then that travels around the Ring of Fire. So 5.2 shouldn't be too hard on that system, but we'll see. But on the 3rd, there was also a 5.1 in Oklahoma. Fell all the way to Arkansas. These are the ones I keep my eyes out for because that system is fragile over there, even though we don't think of it as an earthquake area. The New Madrid was some serious stuff when that fault went, and it was months long. It would really do a lot of damage to the whole heartland if that system decided to start rocking and rolling again. So 5.1 is pretty significant, and to see it over there was pretty crazy. I'm pretty close to Oklahoma. We didn't feel anything, so today, February 4th, 2024, there's been 424 earthquakes or 2.0 or bigger. Biggest of which so far was a 5.4 in Guam. There was a 3.4 near San Fran. There was a 5.1 near Prague. 64 people have died in the Chilean wildfires, so you can see that situation has not gotten any better since we started reporting on it on the 31st. And there's been approximately 43,000 hectares of land burned. So that's on par with a pretty good California wildfire there when it's pushing up into the millions of acres that are getting burned. So, we're definitely going to keep our eye on that situation. As far as volcanic activity is concerned, we're down 1 on our erupting volcanoes this week, 27 erupting, 17 showing minor activity. That's up 2 from last week, and 31 showing unrest. That's down 1 from last week. Indonesia is still showing the most amount of eruptions happening. All in all, the numbers are the same. They've just kind of danced around on the board. So, it's not nearly as high as like the highest we've seen before, but it's still, I think that highest number just like really blew our range out of the water. So this is a significant amount of volcanic activity happening. And I think with the amount of earthquake activity that we saw last week, we should keep an eye on that situation as well. So there we go. Changing Earth News, February 4th, 2024. And we're good. And then the situation in Texas, we could go on and on about that one, but it's still pretty much status quo, and lots of help, and hopefully they can get this situation under control. So prayers for everybody out on the border, fighting the good fight there and holding the line. Whew! I'm always exhausted after Changing Earth News.
Back in a lot of data.
All right. I know. And it was actually, like I say, it was more on the quiet side. I'm sure I'll get blown away with, there's been a lot of blizzard activity and stuff like that happening in Russia and whatnot. So we'll see what that looks like next week when we report on it. But, yep. I'm just keeping eyes on that New Madrid. That was a big earthquake that happened over there. So, wrong side of the country. Got to put up the prophecy show again. It's my favorite stuff. So, alrighty, guys. Well, next week, another chapter of Virgis. Got a great show coming. I don't even know who we might have a special guest. Might. But that I'm just going to caveat it with that and keep you in suspense. So come on over to my website. Check out all the episodes of Changing Earth audio drama. All my books are over there. If you want a signed copy, pick it up. I send it out myself. Come be a subscriber. You help me go and teach everybody self-defense and keep the show going and all that good stuff. So that website is www.changingearthseries.com. That's www.changingearthseries.com. As always, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you, Chin, for tagging along and bringing all the great information that you always do and kicking my butt on the comm stuff so I actually get to it one day. It's been a lot of years since I've been saying that. Alrighty, guys. Until next time, remember, dream,
survive,
thrive.
Thank you for joining Sarah and Chen for this episode of the Changing Earth podcast. Don't forget to pick up your copy of Day After Disaster, Without Land, The Walls of Freedom, Battle for the South, Dark Days in Denver, and The Endless Night at www.authorSarahFHathaway.com. If you love the Changing Earth series and podcast, become a supporter while you're there.